Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Jank Diver Gaming YouTube channel. I am here with Teld, co-host of the Jank Tank podcast, admin for the Jank Diver Gaming Discord community, and we are doing another draft review, this time from one of our other admin in the Jank Diver Gaming Discord community. This is going to be from Fletcher. Fletcher is a longtime admin, maybe a little over a year at this point, and we are going to be following one of his drafts through the Jank Diver Gaming Peasant Cube, like we did last time with Teld's draft. If you want the full breakdown of like what we're trying to do here and what the vision is, I guess I'll link to the other video in the description down below, and you can check that one out when we went over Teld's Boros deck. But we're going to be doing another Peasant Cube draft review here for Fletcher, and two things. First off, Fletcher is a man of very, very strong biases, which we saw in full practice yesterday. We followed him through an entire draft from start to finish for the Peasant Cube, and the man likes what he likes. He wants to be in an Esper deck, or he wants to be in a Boros deck, and he does not really want to be in anything else.
Yeah, you could just told me who this was, and I could tell you what deck we were going to end on without having looked at any of the picks. And also, I just want to mention while we're doing this, we have no show notes for these. This is not any sort of like we look at the video beforehand. I am going in just as blind as Tim, although we do know the result because of who it is and they also told us.
Yeah, and this is a deck that trophied 3-0'd, spoiler alert, a while back. At some point, the second thing I wanted to mention up front is that we don't necessarily want this to always be the Jank Diver Gaming Peasant Cube. I love reviewing the Peasant Cube, but we are going to try to get a variety of cubes in there, maybe the mainline Jank Diver Cube, and so a lot of the guest cubes that we've got going on. We've got like infinite guest cubes at this point. So we're going to hopefully try to mix it up a little bit with more non-peasant content mixed in with the peasant content, but this is what Fletcher sent us, and this is what we're going to use. And yeah, I know the result of this because he titled it literally what the deck is, and also we saw the trophy deck list, and also, like you said, it's Fletcher. We know what it's going to be anyway. It's going to be one of two decks. So
yeah, and just to be clear, it doesn't have to be admin. If you're somebody who plays with us and would like to have us review your draft, we're always accepting submissions at this point, I think.
Yeah, well, what I would say to that is message one of us first and let us know this is something you're interested in. And then let us know like what cube you want to record and stuff like that, and we can give you details. Please don't just send us like videos out of the blue.
Dang.
Like,
all right, folks. He caught me. I was trying to get just tons of unsolicited deck draft videos.
I would like to know that I'm expecting them to come before they actually start hitting or something like that. So, and what cube we're reviewing. Like, I really don't want someone to draft their Venture into the Dungeon plus Dungeons and Dragons cube and then send that to us and be like, this is going to be on the YouTube channel, right? It's like, no, sorry. So, and if that cube exists,
preferably peasant or mainline, but like there are other cubes that people really enjoy drafting. We might do some of Danelius's cube at some point or something.
Yeah, I would.
There's a lot of
Danelius's cube in here at some point. In fact, I would love to get Danelius to do one of these drafts so we can see what a proper 03 looks like. Just kidding, Danelius, we love you. Okay, so we're gonna kick this one off. We're gonna just give a lot of commentary here and see what Fletcher does, and obviously the pack one pick one is gonna be like somewhere where I stop and we talk about this a little bit, and we know exactly where this is going. We know what the pick is. We know what the title of the video is. But
we also we can talk about it here in a second, but I already know what the pick one is, and I would have made the same pick.
Yeah, and we're talking about Nurture and Pixie here, but I would actually we're not going to do this pick by pick like this, but you have gone on record for saying you believe Nurture and Pixie is the best card in the cube right now, and we've been told by a lot of our regular drafters that they feel like there is a core Skyfisher type problem with the cube because of the prevalence of these like cards that pick up other permanents and let you replay them and stuff. So just take a moment to like explain what you mean when you say Nurture and Pixie is the best card in the cube right now.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure I would say it's the best, but I would say it's like a top 5 pretty clearly. And the reason for that is just the sheer amount of synergy you get off this card, the sheer efficiency of it. This is currently seeing constructed play even, but like just at base rate, assuming you pick something up, this ends up being like 1 mana 2/2, and like it's a little worse than that in theory because you pick up something, you have to recast it, but in the decks you're playing it in, almost all the cards you pick up are worth recasting. So, there's a very small tempo hit, but it's just a very, very efficient card. at base. And then it has just a network of things that it does that you don't even think about necessarily, where like, for example, Lively Dirge is one that is pretty relevant, where this is a 1 mana effect for Lively Dirge, which is the card that allows you to bring back 2 creatures in your graveyard with a total mana value of 4 or less. So you can bring back like this in a 3-drop and then pick something up. It's got synergy with sagas and all of these other things. And that's just on top of fitting into the white core game objects game plan perfectly. It's just great card advantage. It's great pressure and tempo. It's got loops that are very efficient because of its mana cost. Like it just is kind of a Swiss Army knife of things that it's doing. And yeah, that 1 mana value is so big. Like this is the white Dragon Rage channeler in a sense.
Yes, it is. And that's why Pixie comes down as like a better version of like all the core Skyfishers, which if you want to hear Teld and Danelius talk more about that, they actually just released a bonus episode of the Jank Tank called what was it? Not the problem with Skyfisher. It was the
Skyfisher Society and its consequences. Yeah.
So go check that out. And I think we'll have a tier list of all the Skyfishers available to us, and some maybe not available on Arena coming out on YouTube as well. So just to highlight your point, look at this pack. We'll just look at the pack and all the cards surrounding Pixie, and like look how many things work with Pixie: Circuit Mender, Coruscation Mage, Sagas, Twin Shot Sniper, Spring Bladed. Like obviously these green things are kind of clunky, but picking up your Adventure is really strong. You can't do Picklock Prankster because it's a fairy. You can't pick up fairies, but Mindless Conscription, replay that, make your amass token bigger. Like and then you add a single mana 2/2 flyer to the board, which actually pressures your opponent. This would be a much bigger deal if Nurture and Pixie was like a 0/2 or like a defender or something like that. This actually pressures your opponent while also letting you spend a single mana to rebuy any enter the battlefield or leave the battlefield triggers that you have, or pick something up from like a pacifism type effect or unable to scream or something like that. So it's just the most efficient version of this effect, and the effect in general is very, very strong in Peasant Cube.
Yeah, and I think if you didn't want to go with Pixie here, it would be a mistake. But I will say Fenrir is also really, really good.
Yeah, I would personally start with Fenrir because I just like the card more. I would urge people, if you're a regular drafter or you have not caught on and you wonder why we're always like, oh, pick six Pixie, how did that happen? Like, I urge you to start like really taking Pixie higher because it is that good. And obviously this is Fletcher, so Fletcher didn't even see any of the other cards in the pack. He just saw this Pixie and took it. So that's gonna, completely dictate the way the rest of this draft goes, and we'll see where it goes from there. Starting now. So, yep, you see, like, FYI, I am 5 seconds into his video, and he has highlighted the Pixie.
He is hovering the Fenrir too, probably talking about how it would be the next best pick.
Yeah, he's saying everything we just said, but he's on a timer, obviously, that we're not on. And I'm sorry to the listener, I can't right click. This is not my draft. This is a recording of someone else's draft, so I can't right click the card and like bring up an image of it or anything like that. But
it's also possible he's sitting here giving us a big long description and we could have played the audio, but we did not. So
yeah, no, I should probably listen to the audio, but I kind of like going into this blind and not really knowing like what picks are going to be taken and stuff like that. I think it just makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
So
now, I think for the first 8 picks on these sort of draft videos, we can probably just talk about what we would pick in a vacuum, because those are before the wheels. And then after that, we're probably supposed to shift more specifically into the deck that's getting drafted, or like the pile of cards we have.
Mm-hmm. At some point, I would also this would be a much longer investment on mine and your time. I would like to feature some gameplay too, even if it's just like a match or so. Okay, let's pause on this.
Okay, wow, this pack is insane.
Yeah, so we're gonna pause on this one, and basically we're just gonna look at all of the white and blue cards here, which is Case of the Gateway Express, Sun Pearl Kieran, Gateway, Getaway Glamour, and Station Monitor if you want to go into a second color. And those cards are all fantastic. So I mean, once you have the first Pixie, all the other Pixies start to get even better and better. So I wouldn't be surprised if he takes Kieran here, but Getaway Glamour and Case of the Gateway Express are excellent forms of interaction, especially when you consider Gateway Express as something you can pick up with your Pixie or Kieran. So
Yeah, this pack is a real suffering from success moment because I think Kieran and Gateway Express are two of the other like top 5 white cards in the cube. Um, I think all 3 of these cards, we got the Pixie, but like we're not getting both, right? Realistically, we're not wheeling case of the Gateway Express in any reasonably spiky pod. It's going to get taken before it comes back, and if it doesn't, that is a drafter mistake. That should not happen.
I would think there's a small chance I get Kieran back, but unlikely, and there's a 0% chance I get the case of the Gateway Express back. But I mean, Getaway Glamour.
I think there's a 0. Great. I would also put Kieran at 0. Like if you wheel Kieran, somebody made a mistake at the table. You have to draft these Sky Fishers appropriately, and that's part of why they all keep ending up in the same deck. Now, in this case, like I don't know what the person. I guess that would be Butano. We can blur out the names in the future if we want, but I don't know what they took over it. I don't know how many cards in the cube I would take over Sunpearl Kieran. It might be non-zero if I stopped and think about it, but it's near the top of my list, partly because I like the gameplay patterns. Now, outside of these 2 white cards, I do think Aomer, Evora are both really solid cards. So, I mean, I wouldn't take them here over these cards, but I do think they're both very good cards as well.
Now it's funny, he's highlighting the momentum breaker obviously as something that like you could pick up with these things. I didn't see him really look at the case of the Gateway Express there. He also hovered over Aomer there as well, probably saying the same thing you did as like a pack one, pick one, you could stake a claim on like a really aggressive red deck or something like that. But I'm surprised he highlighted momentum breaker but not case of the Gateway Express.
I think Fletcher and I kind of draft these decks a little bit differently. I think he tends to view them as like a control deck, from what I understand. And I tend to view them as more like a traditional mid-range deck. So I value Case very highly because I'm making a lot of creatures. And I think he's very frequently trying to do the Danelius oops all Necrotal strategy.
So now going into pack 3, like
wow, holy moly,
Dune Drifter. There are people in the community who have not caught on to Dune Drifter being an excellent card, but it is just another piece. It is 2 colors. It puts you in black. But it's another piece that kind of fits into the shell of like reuse and everything. And he's highlighted Delivery Moogle. No targets for it yet. This is the one that fetches a card from your an artifact from your graveyard or library with mana value 2 or less. And he might be just thinking like, I'm already going to want the cards like the Saw Blades and the clay fired bricks or whatever, or even Michiko's. I guess that's not an artifact, but like I already want those cards. Maybe Delivery Moogle just gives me outs to find them more often.
Yeah, I agree with this pick. I mean, Dune Drifter is amazing with these Kierans, or these Pixie Skyfisher effects, but the Delivery Moogle, he just decided to go for the loop. Okay. I probably would still go for the Moogle here. I don't value being in black-white specifically crazy high, although I will say the Dune Drifter with these 2 cards is really powerful. So I'm not going to fault it. I think I probably land on Delivery Moogle and try to wield the Dune Drifter, which shouldn't happen, but sometimes will.
Yeah, and this is, again, Fletcher already knew from pack 1 that he wanted to be Esper, which there's no way he stays black-white, so a blue card is getting picked here, right?
Probably, yeah.
It's got to be the Relic, right? Relic is insane, by the way, because it triggers when it leaves the battlefield, not when it goes to the graveyard, so you can pick it up, and it's just like Cryogen, Relic, Nurture, and Pixie, 2/2 flyer, draw 2 cards, and I have the Relic back in my hand. It's just ridiculous. It actually puts Deduce like to shame how similar these cards are.
It's really good. I would probably still go Push Pull here.
Push Pull is good. Do you wanna highlight that? Because we get asked questions about this card a lot, and it's really small. So if you don't know, it's 1 and hybrid Orzhov mana for a sorcery that kills a tapped creature. And the back half is 4 and double Rakdos mana to pull 2 creatures out of the same graveyard, give them haste until end of turn, and then sacrifice them end of turn. So it's 6 mana, kind of like double reanimate from a single graveyard. And people, like, oftentimes people will ask for suggestions and stuff, and we're like, Push Pull is really good. And they're like, oh, really? I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, so, I mean, best way to put this is that the card is super flexible. It's kind of black-centered, but you usually can end up casting both sides in most of the decks that would consider casting or playing this card. The removal side, the first side is the 2-mana removal. Like that's kind of why it makes your deck, is just it's a good removal spell in the early to mid game when your opponent's trying to race or they're trying to do, whatever they're doing. It's a good defensive removal spell. And then if you draw in the late game, that being able to reanimate 2 creatures out of the same graveyard is usually a huge tempo swing. It lets you steal lethals out of nowhere. It can set up combos. Like I set up a combo the other day with my opponent's graveyard where like I brought back Micromancer and Kishla Trawler, and then used the Micromancer to tutor up Torch the Tower, and then the Kishla Trawler let me tutor up, or let me rebuy the push pull so that I could do it again next turn. I mean, I killed my opponent that turn, but like had the game kept going, I would have had a ton of value racked up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It is. I mean, if it was just pull, it wouldn't be in our cube. It'd just be too expensive. But the fact that it has that 2-mana buyout to kill something tapped like that, like you said, that's the reason it's in the cube. That's the reason it makes your deck, is because you have a buyout and then you get this powerful spell. It's
now
also,
with 2 pixies and sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's worth noting we've made an update since this draft happened, so cards like Guarded Air aren't actually in the cube anymore. There are some slight changes. Oh, he's going Witch Enchanter 100%. Oh, really? Okay, actually that makes sense. I didn't see the Esper land there, but I know we all love MDFCs, but Fletcher loves MDFCs. Like,
with both Pixies and Dune Drifter, I also think the Cryogen Relic isn't a mistake or anything. I think it's a great, amazing card. I don't value being an Esper as highly as Fletcher does.
Mm-hmm. I do like the back and forth here, because Witch Enchanter is an amazing card in the Peasant Cube. Just being Reclamation Sage on an MDFC is extremely powerful. But we don't play quite as much mana fixing as a lot of people who have Peasant Cubes. We kind of want there to be tension with the lands and things like that, and have to make picks like this where you don't just get every land you want for free. And this is Fletcher kind of recognizing that and saying, if I want an Esper land and I want to be in these colors, I kind of have to take it. Oh boy,
this is easy Starfield Shepherd. Easiest Starfield Shepherd of my life.
Combat Thresher is okay, but Starfield Shepherd, having the Pixie to pick up, just great.
Okay, yeah, Curse of Marauder's a nice pickup here.
Yeah, he's a
okay. I think Scout for Survivors here might be a little aggressive. Like, I don't know. I think I would take the Accursed Marauder probably.
Scout for Survivors is more of a cutesy inclusion right now that has like really, really high upside, but you don't get to like realize the maximum potential of this card that often. I know Fletcher really likes Accursed Marauder, but he likes anything with the MH3 stamp on it.
I will also say, like, these are some pretty decent green cards to be seeing pick 7.
Yeah.
You know, one of my favorite cards in the cube's also here, although I'm not moving in on Heartfire Hero necessarily with this start.
You basically pack one, pick one Heartfire Hero, or sometimes you incidentally have a deck and then you see it later. But
yeah,
it's an extreme build around. Okay, snapping off. Yep, easy.
There's no
I was like, we saw yesterday. He was just in a seat that wanted to be black so bad, and he was like, "Oh, heroic intervention, scurry."
We're wheeling spring-loaded saw blades. Okay, whatever.
Is he going to get the Moogle back in the next pack? If he gets the Moogle pack, that's insane, because he would have Dune Drifter to pick up, spring-loaded saw blades, Cryogen Relic.
Yeah.
Saw Blades is good. I mean, Saw Blades is not a premium removal spell, but it just highlights, like, being able to turn your removal and interaction into permanence makes so many other cards in the cube better. So it is exactly the card he would want to wheel out of this pack.
We'll say Circuit Mender is also something that's pretty hard to replace. The incidental life gain's really good. The card draw is pretty nice. Like, one of the ways this deck loses is getting burned out.
One of the only good colorless cards in the cube.
Yeah. That being said, like, I mean, I guess you take Spring-Loaded Saw Blades here. You've already got both Pixies or whatever. And I mean, I don't know where you're supposed to take Saw Blades exactly. I sort of feel like you're probably not supposed to wheel it, but I think people underdraft white in general right now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Twin Shot Sniper is pretty good. Stomp is pretty decent. The Circuit Mender can go in any deck, so like I
need to go back and see what was in pack 1. Yeah, exactly. I don't remember exactly all the cards that were.
The other 3, I'm like not surprised to see wheel, but those 3, I'm like, I wonder. I would think these might get picked over some of the other cards we saw in that pack, but I don't remember the pack that well.
Okay, both white cards are gone. This was the pack, right?
Archfiend's Vessel's interesting, I guess, because he's got Dune Drifter, he's got Starfield Shepherd.
He's got Starfield Shepherd, yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting one. I would have probably landed on Plume Creed, but I guess he has one blue card right now as well, so he might still be thinking like, oh, I'm just like a white-black grind deck rather than a full-on Esper permanence deck or something like that.
I still
Vessel,
think also you want to be base like 2-color with these decks, even when you're picking up cards. You don't really want to be a full 3-color deck. You want to be playing like 2 or 3 cards of either blue white splash black or like black white splash blue are both pretty good combinations.
yeah. He can take either of the lands here as 2-color fixers. Ilvoy Lightjammer was something we played for about 2 weeks, and it really is like not a premium card in the retail format, so we ended up just slicing it anyway. But he's going to pick up a white-black land, it looks like here.
We'll say I played the Lightjammer in a draft deck I drafted a million years ago and never played, and it was actually really good.
Yeah, I mean, it gets me all the time. It's just like this is exactly the type of card that just like will not appeal to our regular drafters like ever. So even if we have a vision for it, it won't get picked, and we kind of do make some decisions. Notably, Grishnock and the two active treasons here on the wheel.
I feel like this is people at the table maybe didn't draft red here because like Grishnak is really good.
Mm-hmm. And I mentioned earlier that we'd made an update kind of in response to people thinking this Esper shell was like really hard for other decks to fight through. And our response was not to nerf anything from the Esper decks necessarily, but to bump up the other colors.
Okay. Rayblade's okay.
Yeah, Rayblade is, you want it in a more proactive deck. But I think it's just a fine card. Guarded Air is just kind of like, it's a 6-drop. You just don't need 6-drops in decks like this.
It's funny because I feel like it reads like it should be better than Imperial Oath, and maybe it's the impact or legacy of that card, but people played Imperial Oath and it looked really good. I don't think I've ever seen a Guarded Air cast.
Yeah. The reason we included Guarded Air was really because of Vesper Arc, but getting that Evolving Wilds essentially.
Tim finally got what he wanted with Vesper Arc, which is get it out of the cube.
I mean, it does some cute stuff, but sometimes you play it as a 3-mana 2/1 flyer with nothing in your graveyard, and you're like, it's good with Archfiend's Vessel.
Yeah, it's one of those cards that I probably held on to a little too long just because it is a super cool card, and it kind of gives you like a side quest in draft, which I think is really fun.
Mm-hmm. This is a good pack one. I mean, you've got Oh, Combat Thresher.
Yeah, red and white way too open here. Like Kamano faces Kazakhstan. Last pick.
I mean, this is the best red 1-drop in the cube, isn't it? I don't know.
I mean, I think Heartfire Hero is, but like if you're just playing a generic red deck, yeah, Kamano is the one that is just like raw power.
Ooh, 9-mana Dune Drifter, bring back Combat Thresher.
Let's go.
Yeah. Dune Drifter with Archfiend's Vessel. Kind of good too. And one of Fletcher's favorite cards is Lively Dirge, which you've already mentioned, and he might be thinking about that with Archfiend's Vessel. Lively Dirge regularly goes late, and Kamano into Heartfire Hero, last picks. Okay, let's pause here and look at pack 2 real quick. So, Neighborhood Guardian, okay. Blue
not
black.
In these decks. I would not. I think this is you're getting caught up in the trap. Neighborhood Guardian's good, but you don't play it in these decks.
Yeah. It is a card I think would catch people's attention. Blue black land. Mandibular Kite is not really what you're about here, but it's fine. Suppression Ray. This card is sneaky good, and it's just mana fixin'. Ash Barrens as another kind of escape tunnel. Clay Fired Bricks is kind of a primo card here, and then we've got Fear of Isolation, more mana fixing as well. So there are some options here.
I personally think this is between 2 cards. Well, okay. I think you can make a case for 3 cards actually in this pack. Yeah, I think it's either, I would take Clay Fired Bricks. I think that card, I keep calling it Clay Fired Bricks. I started doing it as a joke and I've not been able to undo it myself. Clay Fired Bricks, I think is the pick. I would not be surprised to see Fletcher go with the Fear here just to get the 3rd Skyfisher effect. I also think there's an outside shot he takes Suppression Ray. It's fixing for our deck, and the Suppression Ray just tapping down your opponent's blockers does come up. Yep. Personally, I would be on Clay Fired Bricks, I think, though. The card's just great value. We've already got multiple ways to take advantage of it. We've got a few artifacts even so that we can reliably flip it. Card's great. And I think it's one of the end game, like, game plan scenarios for this style of deck.
Sure. And one reason I think I would take Fear here, just kind of remembering that Combat Thresher and Spring-Loaded Saw Blades wheeled in the last pack. So like maybe Clay Fired Bricks wheels here. The other consideration though for taking the bricks is that you have 1 blue card and it's Cryogen Relic. You could still just be white black and you can just lock in another white card here. So let's actually see what he goes with. I think there are multiple options. I wouldn't be too surprised to see him just take Mana Fixin as well, but I think it's going to come down to one of these two. And he's highlighting Skyfisher number 3. Get off that Mandibular Kite, Fletcher. What are you doing? Get off of that. He just
we're highlighting a bunch of cards that aren't clay fired bricks, and that is surprising to me.
It's just a little magnet. If he sees the MH3 symbol, he's like, yeah, Mandibular Kite. I think Mandibular Kite is like on the weaker side of cards in the queue, but if you are aggressive and you want to kill your opponent fast, like I think it's fine. But not like being able to pick this up and actually these don't even work, right? Because they're germs. They're not job select or anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think this is a greedy pick, but I'm not going to fault him for it. It's a great card.
Sure. It definitely is between those two for both of us. And then you might even wheel fix in here. There's Ash Barrens, Opulent Palace, and Sandstep Citadel that you can all play as 2-color/3 color lands. So plus
people also sleep on Suppression Ray. Like I would not be surprised to see Suppression Ray wheel, even though it shouldn't.
Oh, was that intentional? Sleep on Suppression Ray because it's a sleep land?
That was not intentional, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
Bobble baby.
Yeah. I do love me a bobble. It is great with Doom Drifter. That being said, I do think for me personally, I would probably just take Spirit Realm. I know maybe at this point, I guess the other option here too is we could kind of a bit soft abandon black because it doesn't look super open. We just try to be a blue-white deck. Which I think in that case, taking the Fear here makes sense, and then you could take the dog. And,
I mean,
that's totally fine.
Archfiend's Vessel is like not a pull for me to be like, oh, I'm a black deck. A Curse Marauder is also not quite there, so I'm really thinking like, at this point, you could be white, blue, Splash, and Dune Drifter, or you could be, I mean, you're definitely base white, and then your other colors up in the air. So
I do like to touch those or removal spell. You can like use it with the Starfield Shepherd or the Combat Thresher to like reset them into their full value modes. I think the flexibility on that card's so high, I would have probably taken it. But I know Fletcher is, he sees like the 3-for-1 or whatever on Codecracker Hound and just can't unsee it.
I mean, it's hard to argue about the raw card advantage you get off Codecracker Hound. So Swallowed by Leviathan, Faebloom Trick, both cards I love very, very much, but they are better suited for decks that really care about casting instants or sorceries.
Yeah, and part of this is just a philosophy difference, right? Wow.
Builder's Talent, Norns Inquisitor, Death Defiler.
Oh my goodness.
So he does exactly what I would do here, which is highlight Builder's Talent and then go down to my deck and see how many ways I have to trigger it. Because if you can like pack one Builder's Talent and build around it, it's going to be the best card in your deck, and your deck's going to be great. But he already passed Michiko's Reign of Truth. He hasn't been drafting with it in mind necessarily. Wasn't this at the center of the video that we did for your draft as well?
It was, yeah. I do think this is probably a drafter preference. I'm not convinced that you shouldn't just take Norns Inquisitor here, though.
No, you do. You like Norns Inquisitor a lot more than I do, but I will still admit it's a great card. It's a great card.
I probably would land on Builders here because it's still early enough in the draft that we can make it work. But Norns Inquisitor is legitimately one of the most powerful white cards in the cube. It generates tons of value. It's a great amount of pressure. It's just like it's an easy card to use with our pixies to get value. It's just a really strong card.
Yeah, and I'm counting like 6-ish hits for it already. It's weird that he has the Saw Blades in his sideboard right now.
At this point, you're going to bring it in, right? Like,
yeah, you're definitely going to play it here, especially. Yeah. Okay. The Builder's Talent. That's funny. The Builder's Talent is like the breaking point. I would have played it already with all the Pixie things. And looked at it before.
And this, I think, too, a lot of this has had to do with like some of these picks are just how we view the deck. Like I said, Fletcher sees this deck as a hardcore control deck, which is totally fine. I think it can play that role. I just tend to view it. I tend to want to play it in more of the flexible mid-range space where I can adapt my game based on what I'm playing against, whereas Fletcher's just pure, like, let's get as much value and interaction as we can in our deck. And that's totally fine. I think it's a good draft strategy. It's just not how I draft it. Ooh, wow, this pack's really good.
I'm guessing...
a lot of role players here.
Yeah, I'm guessing a land gets picked here, but Reflection Net, for those who don't know what Reflection Net is, it's basically it's like Assimilation Aegis, if you know that card from... what is it called? Outlaws of Thunder Junction. It's kind of very, very similar.
How many crimes do we have to commit here? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, right. For Bandits Hall.
Okay. Yeah. I like that card. It's probably a little early to take it over an actual dual land, though.
Yeah, Whirler Rogue, Cat Collector, both work with Builder's Talent. So do the Artifact land. So there's 5.
How does Whirler Rogue work with Builder's Talent? Other than being a card,
makes 2.
It doesn't make. Yeah, but it doesn't make non-creature, non-land permanents.
Oh, non-creature. Sure. Cat Collector does though.
Oh, sure, it makes.
You're right. Builder's Talent does not work with artifact creatures.
Yeah, I think I probably would have went with Reflection Net, but I'm never going to fault somebody for taking their mana.
Sure. I mean, what does his interaction look like right now? Spring-loaded Saw Blades. I don't really count Cryogen Relic as interaction. That is the only piece of interaction he has right now. So at some point he will want the touch the Spirit Realms, or like if he sees Journey to Nowhere, he's going to snap it off. You know, we saw yesterday, like he was like, Journey to Nowhere, got to take that over everything else in the cube. Like, it is. I mean, it's a good card. It's 2 mana. Catch all. I love Unnerving Grasp. The same thing as like Swallowed by Leviathan and such, though.
I will say too. I think I don't want to say we're forcing our way into white black here, but like I do want to point out just how unbelievably open red was, and we probably could have played like a Boros deck if we wanted.
Is he about to take Defiled Crypt over Ossification here? I guess. I mean, I know he loves this card. Again, he loves the kind of grindy. I mean, there's back for seconds too. Yeah, is he gonna take it? Is he locking it in? Because Ossification feels like it works with talent, and it feels like the card he needs right now. Yeah, okay.
Fletcher's great, no bounds. Yeah, I wouldn't have even. I mean, I love Cadaver Lab. I think it's an amazing card. I love having it in the cube. I don't even think I would have looked at it compared to Ossification in this pack.
He's probably so happy that he has it too. And like, I get it. The card is fun. The card is sweet, but I feel like we need that Ossification here. And like I said at the beginning of the video, he 3-0'd. So like, what do we know? But
yeah, I mean, Fletcher's a big reason why we were also adding more Exile to the cube. Is like he's really big on these trying to get into loop states.
Yep. Oh, there's a Monstrous Rage there. There's a sick red deck here at some point. He thinks Citizen's Crowbar is like insane. I think it's merely just good, but he thinks it's like incredible card or something.
Yeah, I'm probably in between the two of you. I think it's a very good card that I'm happy to have in my deck. But it's not like this is the best card in the cube or anything. But I will say, I guess the defense is that a lot of these picks where the red cards were really good, we also had good white cards, so it's been kind of hard to get in on it. Okay, are we taking the Shepherd of the Clouds here?
Here's 2 kind of like big ball Skyfisher type cards. I mean, Shepherd is usually way better than Sun Blessed Healer, but Healer's got some modality to it. I'm sure he's trying to see how many mounts he has for the Shepherd of the Clouds here.
Yeah, and one thing we are keeping an eye on is like we might be in the space to like trim a little of this recursion, because it is kind of annoying just how much of it there is when you're on the other side of it and you can't get rid of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I just look at this pile of cards.
Yeah.
I have been kind of unimpressed with Sun Blessed Healer, so I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up not making a cut here over some other 2-drop at some point.
Surprisingly unimpressive. Yeah, it feels awkward to cast it for 4 mana.
Wow, there's 4 landscapes in this pack.
Yeah, I think I'd just take the Graveyard Hate for the sideboard.
Yeah,
but
he can use any of them. Scrapbot is I said Circuit Mender was the only good colorless card. That was obviously an exaggeration. I have been impressed with Dauntless Scrapbot. Just kind of like the design of the card feels like it could have been weaker for a colorless card as they normally make them, and this one like isn't really compromising anything if you care about Graveyard Hate, which by the way is incredible in the Jank Diver game in Peasant Cube. Like eating someone's graveyard, like we don't really allow that sort of effect too much, but there's so much recursion, there's so many decks that care about looping things from graveyards and casting things from graveyards that this should be high on your radar. Cling to Dust is here as well.
Yeah, we can Graveyard Hate our opponent multiple times. We can like make an object for our Builder's Talent. I would go with the Scrapbot here personally.
I would also, partly to also make sure other people don't have it. I have Dune Drifter.
Wow, this is okay.
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah. See,
can we pause it? Can we pause it for a second? Can we just pause it for a second?
Paused.
When people tell me that white is broken, and that the white game object deck is broken in the Jank Diver Gaming or Peasant Cube, and then you get pick 9 Clayfire Bricks, which was the only white card in the pack, right? Like I mentioned that at the beginning of the pack, that it was like, and you were like, yeah, we might wheel it. This should never happen. Okay. People need to adjust their game plans and draft appropriately. This should not happen.
You got to take the good white cards, people. You got to take them. If you can't, well, you don't have to take them, but if you don't take them, I don't want to hear you complain about losing to them. I had a suspicion this would wheel though, and I think
I would have literally first picked this card out of the pack.
Like that. That's why I really like the. It's just because the second pack, like Combat Thresher, is nothing special, but Combat Thresher and Spring-Loaded Traps both wheeling is like a pretty decent sign that this card would also wheel. So. Called shots by me, I guess.
I don't know what world we're living in where this card's wheeling, but okay. Yeah,
he does see.
Are we not even gonna take it?
He does see the.
This card's amazing.
The mana fix in here.
Card's incredible. Fletcher, get out of here, dude. Take clay fire bricks.
This is kind of like mana.
What in the world? Oh my goodness.
Okay.
All right, whatever. All right. I don't understand this at all. Like this legitimately, like this is the first pick where I'm just truly flabbergasted.
The man likes his guild gates. Okay, he wants to be able to cast his spells.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, this is a pretty medium reward here. The 4 mana, like ignore the dragon claws on it. You're just gonna pick it up and reuse it with one of the pixies, and it's nice that it's an enchantment for Builder's Talent. So it's the only pick from the pack he could consider here.
Yeah, surprisingly unimpressive. Like I thought like when we got this on a game object and it like made 2/2/2s, it'd be really insane. I don't really like casting Teeming Dragonstorm. It doesn't feel like it's worth the mana to me.
No, it's fine. I mean, I think there are like some Selesnya decks that might be able to use it. There's your Inquisitor on the wheel.
Yeah, thank you, Fletcher, for highlighting pack 2, pick 11, Inquisitor.
Nice.
Yeah. And that shouldn't be here either. Red and white are just so unbelievably open. Like, I don't know why people are still fighting over like not Sultai. What is it? What colors are we not playing? Green, blue, and black. I guess green, blue, and black. Yeah, Sultai. Yeah. I guess it's Sultai that is getting fought over right now. I don't know why we're all trying to fight over Sultai soup, but
people like what
pick
they like.
Pick 11. Pick 11. Norn's Inquisitor.
Last pick Capita.
Pick 11's Norn's Inquisitor. What is this?
Yeah. That reroute systems, by the way, is no longer in the cube. We cut it for focus fire cards. Just the reroute systems is just not very good.
Yeah.
I mean, what even is he? He's 6 lands deep, so 19 plus no MDFCs. So, I mean, he only needs like 5-ish cards to fill out the deck here. What even is he looking for at this point? Like, you know what he really wants is like a Grim Bauble or a Nowhere to Run type card, I think.
Yeah. Just like a card to let all of your Skyfishers be Necrotals.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't like the Guildgate pick there, but him taking the Fixin' means he doesn't have to pick it quite as highly this pack. So let's pause real quick and look at pack 3. There's
your Grim Bauble.
There's Dig Through Time here.
I'm willing to bet he takes Dig Through Time, but I could see taking the Bauble.
I mean, he might take another Guildgate. This is not. I love Salt Road Pack Beast, but this is not the deck for it. And I know he really likes Airy Auxiliary, but he's gonna save that for a Boros deck. So I would not be surprised if Grim Bauble is the pick here. Hard to pass up Stock Up no matter what deck you are, though. So
yeah, I can see taking Stock Up here though. We do have a bunch card advantage, and like we could use a little removal here. So I kind of like the Grim Bauble pick.
Yeah.
It plays with our Builder's Talent, and yeah, I think that's probably where we're supposed to land.
Mm-hmm. That's what I just said. Is this type of ETB kill a creature permanent is exactly what his deck needs right now. So
it's even a card that like you could get it into the graveyard relatively easily off of its own effect for buying it back with like a Dune Drifter or a Shepherd of the Clouds or something.
He does have some random green fixin' actually between these two cards for the Disruptive Stormbrood, which is funny.
I will say one thing that I mean, Grim Bauble is very good here. One small thing is that our deck is already really, really good at trading for our opponent's like 2/2s. So Grim Bauble is good and we should take it, but it's not like it's a ridiculous pickup here, right? It's just a solid card. Like the real thing we're lacking is something to deal with our opponent's bigger creatures.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't have an option in this pack for that, right?
So. Yeah, that's just more. That's what I'm saying. Like Grim Bauble is the pick. I just mean that there's certain times with these styles of decks that you're gonna be very excited to go to Grim Bauble, and I think you're just like, this card's pretty good.
Sure, that's fair. I would be low key looking at this Stormbrood. I wouldn't take it. I think that's kind of crazy, but I would be looking at it. Actually.
You could splash it off of the the Citadel, huh?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we know Fletcher loves a Ruthless Lawbringer. I don't think Ruthless Lawbringer looks very good in this deck, though. To be clear.
He's looking at the Archfiend and he's like, yeah, I actually like that this town ain't big enough pick here personally, but I can never talk the man off of his Lawbringer here.
I like, what are we sacking a Lawbringer?
I don't know.
I mean, Archfiend's Vessel's like
Vessel.
it, right?
And I mean,
I would take Glory Heath Links personally.
This is a good generic 2-drop for any white deck. He is probably like he's gonna manifest the Lively Dirge here in pack 3 at some point. I know it's coming.
Sure.
I don't
know. We'll pick up a couple of free like creatures to sack here in a second or something.
To be clear, I don't know that it's coming, but like I feel like it's coming. And then once you have a Ruthless Lawbringer, Archfiend Vessel, or whatever in your deck with the Dirge, it's like, okay, he's gonna take black-white land almost assuredly. I don't think Embalmed Descendant.
I will say I think this is the first pick where like, I mean, the Samurai's Katana would just. Oh, we're not gonna take Embalmed Descendant. Okay, that's our card that gives us something to sack for the Ruthless Lawbringer. By the way, Samurai's Katana here would have been a nice pickup if we had been in the red space too.
Well, whoever got that last pick, Kamano, is probably happy. I mean, there's a painted studio here as well, which is great in the red decks.
Yeah, I think red is habitually underdrafted in this cube. I think it's one of the better colors, and it just like it doesn't get drafted super often. Not necessarily like as an aggro color, but I think like mid-rangey mid-rangey Boros tokens is still really good. I think red's kind of underdrafted here. I know Fletcher likes down one ambusher. I could see him taking that.
It's not a exciting pick here for him. It's really, for me, it comes between Modern Age and Warlock class just to lock up another trigger for Builder's Talent, but this doesn't look like a particularly proactive Warlock class deck. Modern Age is fine. I've come down on Modern Age as the blue card draw has gotten better and better and better, but it still does decent enough stuff, and it does trigger the talent. So he might take Ambusher.
I like this Gabranth as well, but I don't think Fletcher drafts the kind of decks where that card is particularly good.
Sure. Yeah, Ambusher.
This is fine. Yeah, I like Ambusher. I think it's underdrafted. Ooh, Gorehound? Okay, so I don't think Fletcher, again, this is where our draft preferences would vary. I think Gorehound, every time I play black-white, is like the best card. It feels like one of the best cards in my deck. Whereas for Fletcher, I think we're playing a bit less good because you're not really taking advantage of it on the pressure side of things. And so, yeah, we're going to see him skip it. And he'll probably just wheel it. Let's be honest.
I would personally take Stonehaven Pilgrim here. I think this card is essentially a 3/3 lifelinker for 2 mana. And then I've had decks with Builder's Talent and Stonehaven Pilgrim where you just get so out of hand by just stacking the counters on the Pilgrim. But I
would have taken Snarling Gorehound, but I think Scrabbling Claws should also be on the table there.
Yeah, there's that Nowhere to Run.
Yeah. Also Dragonfly Pilot.
Yeah, Dragonfly Pilot is a banger here. And Troll of Khazad-dûm, he's got some targets for that. Ooh, okay.
This pack is okay.
I mean, my boy Stick Twister here.
I think Portable Hole makes a lot of sense for us still.
Yeah, he is light on interaction. He did get Grim Bobble Nowhere to Run, which I mentioned cards he really wants, but Portable Hole being an artifact that gets rid of some cheap stuff.
Stick Twister is also good here because this is a deck that wants to play an extremely long game, and Stick Twister is really good at that. I'm not really seeing the vision with the Umbral Collar Zealot unless we're just looking at it because it's a 3/2.
I'm not really Umbral Collar Zealot is an excellent card, but you do want to surround it by sacrifice synergy. Like just being able to sacrifice stuff is whatever. Stick Twister is kind of similar to the Glory Heath links. I think this is just a good black card. If you need a 2-drop in a black deck, you just throw it in there, and it always seems to do good work. Also,
3 seconds.
Kind of insane with Builder's Talent. Anything that pumps the Stick Twister. I immediately went to Split Skin.
I was gonna say pick 8 Split Skin Doll and Glasswing Grace. Like, yeah, Fletcher Fletcher's crashing out just like I am here. This is not
okay. Both of our cursors are like do. Okay, where's the
pause it for a second. Right. Okay, Glasswing Grace is one of the best cards in the cube. Please stop passing at people. It's so good. If you're black or white, it's incredible.
If you're both, it's amazing. Cannot stress enough how insane it is to get, because just to be clear, 5 mana for +2/+2 flying and lifelink is a bad card, but when you throw it on the back of a 2-color land and you get it for free, it becomes an amazing card.
Like most decks, if it's a tap planes or a swamp in your deck and occasionally you get to cast it on that side, it wins games. It just wins games. Almost all of the downside of a card like Glasswing Grace the aura side of it is mitigated by the fact that it's a land. And yes, it's a tap land. So like it does have a cost, but it's not a large cost, especially if you're not like Fletcher and playing, oh my God, 9 guild gates. If you're a more reasonable person and you're playing a smaller number of guild gates, then it's not that big of a cost. You just find a way to weave it in on your mana curve if you need to do it. But Glasswing Grace, it should absolutely not be here. Splitskin Doll is like one thing. I think it probably shouldn't be here, but it's at least defensible. Glasswing Grace is completely egregious to be here at this point.
Splitskin Dolls would be great in this deck as well. Obviously, there's the Black Mage's Rod too, but there's no way could not justify that pick over Splitskin or Glasswing Grace here. Tifa's Windbreak is no longer in this cube. Gnarlbeck Rhino is no longer in this cube.
One of the pushbacks I've heard when I say things like this card shouldn't be here, is it's like, well, it's cube, all the cards are good. And that is true. All the cards are good, generally speaking. But that does not mean there's not like an internal hierarchy of these cards, and there aren't cards that should be going earlier in packs. Like good cards are good cards regardless of the card.
Yeah, it's not every card is theoretically good, but they're not all tier S cards. Like there's tier S, there's tier A. Ooh, getting the black-white land on the wheel.
Yeah, what is it? All cube cards are equal, but some cube cards are more equal than others.
Oh, he might not have playable. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We're at like 22. Yeah, we're close.
Yeah, he it looked like he was considering. Yes, come on, do it. I would love if he took the Disruptive Stormbird here. The card is excellent if you can cast both halves of it.
We have do we have 2 landscapes that let us play or just one?
He could upgrade his guild gate to a tri-land. He doesn't want to put a forest in this deck, so I wouldn't count Escape Tunnel. Perilous? I don't think Perilous is a green. So maybe he only has Sandstep Citadel. I would just take the Sunlit Marsh here, I think. But he might actually be doing a playable count. Yeah, I'm glad he highlighted the Stormbird there. That was a good highlight.
Our poor mana base.
I mean, we're going to be slow, but these decks already want to play slow anyway, so.
Yeah, I think this is where I also get kind of annoyed when people don't draft aggro and then wonder why the deck with 10 guild gates trophies.
Sure, yeah.
Just play a solid 2-color deck and kill your opponent.
Glory Heathlinks is nice.
Oh man. Yeah, Glory Heathlinks is amazing. This card's ridiculous. I don't understand. I don't get it.
The rest of the pack is stuff I'm not too crazy concerned about wheeling here. I don't value Completed Huntmaster at all as a card. I know you like it. But.
Yeah, I like the card. I think it's quite solid. I don't necessarily love it in this deck. I think it is a card that is more in slightly different spaces. You want to have more free game objects.
He took it over the Heath.
But he did take it. I would play that thingy. I forget what it's called. Embalmed Descendant over it. And we just wheel all the gold cards. Okay.
Yeah, all the black-white gold cards in the pile. Yeah, he never got his Lively Dirge.
No. I wonder what his final deck's gonna look like.
I mean, this minus or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the sort of thing where I also wonder if the blue splash is even necessary. I don't actually think we're. It didn't look like black was open in pack 1 or 2, but in pack 3, maybe it's just because we got all the gold cards. It did sort of seem to open up a little bit.
Or maybe, Fletcher might be a savant with that Defiled Crypt pick. He's like, oh, black's going to be open in the next pack. Yeah, the Huntmaster Embalmed Descendant look out of place to me, but he might actually have taken so many lands that he might need just a playable count here. It's you could play these cards. They're fine. They're not embarrassing or anything. He is considering that.
Well, the Embalmed Descendant is just actively fine, right? We can play with the Pixies and the Ruthless Lawbringer and
Yeah, this is essentially a 3/4 for 3 across 2 bodies. You don't really need to be doing the Aristocrats thing to justify the stat line here, but let's see. He's got a minute left on the recording here, so he might make some changes on camera for us.
Yeah, I would probably cut the Whirler Rogue. I'm not putting a blue card in my deck in this particular deck.
So he's at
how many?
9. He's at 23 with the MDFC. So yeah.
Or we could just put a blue 1-drop in our deck. Okay, whatever.
That's fine. I mean, 3-0, man. It 3-0'd. You can't argue against it. He has Shepherd. He might be thinking about that with Spyglass Siren here.
Yeah, the Spyglass Siren also helps get the speed up, and it carries
Okay.
builder's talent counters well.
All
Like,
right,
I get
Fletcher,
it.
we don't need to see you open in Magic Arena. All right, let's pause there. So obviously, insane start with Pixie, Sun Pearl, Kieran as like your first two picks of the draft. Like, and that's one thing I want to point out to people who have complained, about 3 or 4 of the drafts recently. Is I watched Flutter, Full Arena here. I watched him do a draft where he got Nurture and Pixie, Sun Pure Kieran, and Fear of Isolation within the first 5 picks of a draft, and like that seems to have happened multiple times where it's just unrealistic that you get all these cards together early on and then it's easy sailing on whatever else you want the deck to look like. Theoretically, though, people who draft frequently and lose to this deck frequently should recognize that Pixie, Kieran, Fear of Isolation, things that pick up permanents are really good, and you would hope they would adjust their picks to start taking those cards a little bit higher too, but I don't know that people have done it. So we don't really want to cut these cards because they're almost like that sort of play style is almost endemic to like Peasant Cube now, like the kind of recycling of permanents and the objectification of magic and uncommons, which is, terminology I got from Denelius. So instead, like I said, we tried to bolster some of the other colors, and we've had some fixes lately. We've seen some other decks trophying, so maybe this isn't as much of a problem, but this is a rock solid example with just a little bit of filler of like what a Pixie deck looks like here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's definitely got a little bit more greed in him than I. But yeah, like the recursion's really good. The Pixies are really good. These cards we saw super late and wheeling like Norn's Inquisitor and stuff, like you've got to adjust your picks. White's really good in this cube and good in Peasant in general. I think white is the best color in Peasant at the moment. And when something is good, if you're not taking those cards, then somebody's going to end up with all of them. We saw in this draft, and Fletcher kind of crashed out like I was, where it was just like, it was like pick 8, pick 9. And we were just seeing just,
we're assuming this means crashing out in some way. Like, how is this still in the pack?
Yeah. When you like go and highlight what pick it is and then like hover a card, I assume that you're having the same experience I am, which is like, it doesn't make any sense. You should not see a pick 11 Norn's Inquisitor ever in. You should never see that in any Peasant Cube. It just is not reasonable.
My last comment here. This was a fun draft to go over. My last comment is just a quick reminder that this is a good example of like, if you're coming out and playing the Jank Diver game in Peasant Cube, there's nothing at stake. So why not take the cards that you really find fun and play with them, right? Like you saw him take the Cadaver Lab. I know Fletcher enough by this point to know that he probably didn't think that was the correct pick from that pack, but he enjoys the card so much that you can play it. Like there's nothing wrong with doing that. People just like won't do that for some reason. They'll be like, oh, this card is so fun, but I'm trying to spike the afternoon Jank Diver game and Saturday Cube or whatever, and it's like, oh, have some fun with it, guys. Experiment a little bit. Like you've identified the best deck. You don't have to draft it if it's in your seat, but we've got
it kind of goes against what we tell people though, right? Like I consistently tell people that you should just take the really good cards, like, and I get it. Like I'm willing to go out and draft different things too, but you do have to recognize that if you're passing them, you also don't get the right to complain later when you lose to them.
Yeah. I mean, that comes with a caveat. If you're going to take fun cards over arguably better cards, that you cannot complain about other people getting the arguably better cards. Like that's a decision you have to make. But I did like to see that Cadaver Lab pick there, because that's something I feel like I would do myself, is be like, all right, I'll ship the A+ S tier card because I just want to play with Heartfire Hero or whatever. I want to play with Hunter's Talent's a bad example because that kind of is an S tier card. But, so yeah, this was fun. Fletcher, if you're listening, which I know you are, this was a very cool. I'm glad you did all the highlighting and stuff for us. I didn't listen to your commentary, so sorry about that. But I wanted to go into this blind, and I'm glad we got to see a trophy deck kind of come together here, and this was fun. Thanks for putting this together. We're not bashing you on anything. We just whatever. Fletcher's cool. He knows we're not making fun of him.
I will say I'm looking over this deck, and honestly, the Complete Huntmaster is kind of looking pretty good too. Now that I'm looking at it, we've got like the map token, the Grim Bauble, the Cryogenic Relic. Like we've got some things to sack. Yeah,
we can do some things with Huntmaster. Builder's Talent is always like everything's just. Oh, that's another point for Siren there. Makes an artifact. So, yeah, very cool. Reminder to the listeners, if you want to partake in this sort of thing, especially if you're one of our regular drafters and you just would like to see, one of your drafts kind of have commentary on it, whether it did well or not. Like, get in touch with me or Teld in the Jank Diver Gaming Discord. If you're new and you're not part of that Discord, there will be a link down below. You just got to join up and kind of be like, hey, I'm interested in the Peasant Cube or whatever cube you see us reviewing here. And Teld and I will do our best to try and persuade people to get a few more of these recorded and get more out there. So if people seem really gun shy about it, like they want to do it, but they're like afraid to record themselves or something, and maybe us bashing some of Fletcher's picks is like a deterrent. But yeah,
well, if you want just to be clear too, if you're somebody who wants to do this and you don't want to see your name highlighted or anything, we can also edit this. Like, I can stick this in Resolve and just crop it so that your name never shows up.
Sure.
Yeah, we could do a draft log review, and that makes it really, really easy to do that as well. So, I mean, there are ways that we can, protect your anonymity if that's something you're concerned about. And hopefully, Fletcher, and like you said, he knows we don't mean anything by it, but hopefully it didn't sound like, we were too negative or anything. We're trying to be just, trying to talk about the cards.
Yeah, no, Fletcher submitted this knowing we would say exactly what we would say about everything. And honestly, most of it was just agreeing with him, and most of the complaints were about what the other people at the table were doing, passing some of the cards that wheeled. So very cool. And stay tuned to the Jank Diver Gaming channel for more content like this. Hopefully Teld and I can get people to submit a few more. Hopefully I can get one or two out at some point myself. I would really like to do one for the mainline cube because I'm very rusty on it anyway. And I draft that cube so differently than everybody else that, like, I'm sure people would love to bash that one. But
plus this is also for, content purposes. This is super easy for us to do. We just hop in and, we record this and then, very mild edits and we're done.
Slap this bad boy on YouTube, go make a quick thumbnail, which I was kind of proud of the last thumbnail with the builder's talent thing in the eyeball, but very, very easy, very cool, and very fun for us to do. So last time I'll say, I feel like I'm just repeating myself at this point. Jank Diver Gaming Discord and the links down below. So subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content like this and the Jank Tank episodes and stuff like that. And stay tuned for more like this. Thanks for watching, and as always, we will catch you all next time.